The last patron. Angelo Rizzoli, the publisher who enlightened an island. Both fatherless, forced to face life without any help or guidance, and having suffered a childhood of deprivation, hardship, and humiliation. Angelo Rizzoli's friendship with Pietro Nenni, a future politician, journalist, and historical leader of the Italian Socialist Party, was perhaps born from the shared past void of love rather than from the sharing of a political passion. Both, as children, had lived in orphanages. Rizzoli at the Martinet, and Nenni at the Maschi Opera Pia Cattani. But while the former no longer felt poor amongst the rich, little Nelly's suffering from those years spent in boarding school marked them deeply. They both possessed that vein of generosity that would seal their friendship and mutual admiration. Angelo Rizzoli and Pietro Nenni met in the early 1920s. L'Avanti, a socialist daily newspaper, was the only leftist newspaper with a national distribution and a huge print run. All subscribers were gifted the Socialist Almanac for New Year's Eve, but it was not easy to find a printer capable of printing it well and on time. The administrator of the socialist newspaper, Bonaventura Ferrazzutto, soon made an agreement with Angelo Rizzoli, who, while visiting the editorial office, got to know the then editor, Pietro Nenni. Later, when L'Avanti was closed by Mussolini's intervention and Nenni was forced to expatriate to France, Rizzoli hired Ferrazzutto and about 20 linotypists from L'Avanti in his company, which, in the meantime, had been growing and expanding. When, in September 1943, Ferrazzutto was arrested by the Germans in Milan, deported to Mauthausen and killed in a gas chamber in Hartheim Castle, Rizzoli requested a plaque in the new printing plan on Civitavecchia Street in Milan, now Angelo Rizzoli Street, in honor of his socialist administrator, a martyr for freedom. In 1954, at the suggestion of Pietro Nenni, Rizzoli gave up building his own paper mill in Milan in order to buy the Lama di Reno paper mill near Marzabotto, destined to become the paper supplier for his entire publishing empire. The two friends were moved by a desire to help a community in need, which only 10 years earlier had experienced, with the Marzabotto massacre, one of the most serious war crimes against the civilian population perpetrated by the German armed force in Western Europe. In the following years, the paper mill would become a large industrial complex with more than 500 employees, radically changing the social and economic life of that area. Pietro Nenni was often Rizzoli's guest in Lacco Ameno, where the entrepreneur had since purchased Villa Arbusto, an 18th century villa situated on a small hill from which it's possible to admire the breathtaking view of the Gulf of Naples. Together, they spent that little free time that their respective commitments required, playing bocce, lovingly discussing their project in the enchanting surrounding park, living with trust and genuine sympathy, that deep friendship that lasted a lifetime. The last patron. Angelo Rizzoli, the publisher who enlightened an island. A podcast by RMS for the municipality of Lacco Ameno. Produced by Studio A, written by Gianluca Castagna, voiced by Aurora Cecchi. Sound design, music and post-production by Luigi Mennella. Audio supervision by Francesco Rando. Producer Pietro Censino Di Meglio. Sources are indicated in the synopsis.